Improving your hip flexor ability will help you run more with less pain, even if your hips are wrecked right now. Level 1 would be lifting your leg with no weight attached, getting your knee above your hip level on every rep, which on its own is already great. But level 2 is where the real magic happens, because you know exactly how much weight you can lift by using weights attached to your ankle. The most important part is that you send in a video of your last set from around this angle using the camera icon on the app, so I can guide you towards the progressions and build you up as if you were in person with me. And what we're looking for is back leg straight, getting your knee above your hip level on every rep with full control through the range of motion. Because most runners make the mistake of only ever training the muscles that make you go forwards faster, like your glutes, your quads, and your calves, but they never actually train the muscles that pick your leg back up after you push forwards. Even though the world's fastest runners, Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, are doing this measurably in their training, and there's proof. And just in those 8 weeks of rebuild, you can completely transform your hip flexor health. Every Tuesday, we set a 3-minute timer, aiming for 60 reps in those 3 minutes, using a weight that allows you to do so. If you can't hit your 60 reps, decrease the weight next week. If you hit your 60 reps, you can increase it slightly, and boom, just like that, you're putting money in the bank for your hip flexor longevity and injury proofing for running. But why does this even matter? Well, if you look at your running stride, and specifically how your hip flexor functions in that running stride, the weaker that this muscle is, the less control you're gonna have over picking up your leg, and the less control you're gonna have over when it drops. So if you drop it with less control, more damage goes up through the leg, and that can end up in hip injuries, but it also goes down the chain into your knee and into your ankles, even into your feet. But the running ability system is different, because in that same Tuesday session where you're building up your hip flexor raises, you're also building up those other muscles that contribute to how strong and healthy your running stride is, like hamstring curl reps and bent leg Copenhagen reps for the adductor, hip flexor, hamstring, all being able to run without becoming damaged. And remember, you're gonna be pre-prepared for all of this, because we spend our first 8 weeks in Unlock, where we're building up our L-sits, just regaining the ability to pick up our leg with just our body weight in the same position that we need our hip flexors to be strong for the running that we do before we ever start doing hip flexor raises in rebuild. So there truly is a route for anyone to start improving their hip flexors, to injury proof them long term and build up the strength for running, because everything we do scales, makeshifts, and regresses to your level, and I'm right there with you along the way to coach up your form and guide you through the progressions.